You go onto the East Anglian coast and work with very poverty-stricken schools. The children are mostly white. If you work in the West Midlands or London and the schools are eligible for work, then yes, you
So
are
we're
taking
talking about
children.
demographics, and we're talking about historical roots and links into various parts of cities or countryside, aren't we?
Yes.
Rather than the countryside being racist in some way.
I've not said, and I wouldn't, that the countryside is racist. We've not had that experience. Albeit I would add that people from a non-white background are intimidated by the JB Sports cheap flags hanging up half-mast of lampposts. That's not a great way to welcome people into the countryside.
All right. Victoria, appreciate it. Good luck with the work that you do. Thank you very much indeed. Helen's a new caller in Slough. Hi, Helen.
Hiya. Thanks for having me on the call.
You're very welcome.
I just wanted to comment about the issue of the countryside being very white. As a black African immigrant, I'm now British, but I've grown in both worlds. I live in Frome, I live in Slough, and I'm back to a semi-countryside. I just think a lot of those feelings or those sentiments are self-inflicted. People are self-conscious that they're not wanted anyway. I don't tend to feel like that. And it's not fair to make people who live in those countryside areas to feel the guilt that they've made it to be kind of white exclusive. It's a matter of choice. And I also agree with one of the previous callers, John, who said, you cannot prove that anybody has said you're not welcome. It's what people feel. And as an immigrant, when I first settled in the UK, the default thing was you've been told to settle where you can easily take buses because obviously to afford a car is harder. In the countryside, you're going to need a car. So I think it's more down to people's personal choices, and it shouldn't be made to believe or to be seen as though people are excluded from certain areas.
And you don't feel, Helen, that the countryside, whatever we really mean by that, is sort of exclusively white in that it keeps
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's down to affordability. Who can afford it? For example, I've recently moved from the Slough area to the countryside, and the council tax is more expensive.
Yeah, it is, and it is expensive because you're probably going to need a car, and that is more expensive to run than getting the bus because there's not a lot of good public transport, etc., etc. Helen, appreciate the call. Thank you. Do you know what I've started doing again? It's terrible. Well, it's not terrible. A little insight into the psyche at the moment, but January is the second worst month of the year, followed shortly by February, which is the worst month of the year. The weather is absolutely atrocious. It's not stopped raining.